Okay, so I pulled the high-speed needle and low-speed needles out of the box, and they're sitting right here. I was just looking at this. I did have this little offset screwdriver, but the offset is too long for me to reach that. But I was sitting here playing with this thing, and I got, that thing is still really warm. I got it freed up much more just by playing with it like this. Now whether it'll tighten up again as it dries, it might, but hopefully this 3-in-1 oil will keep it more fluid than the caster that was holding it in place. So since I'm on this side, let's just grab a couple of needles here and see, because at this point I don't even know which needle is which. I'm kind of figuring that maybe this silver looking one is the low speed needle and this is the high speed needle, but I mean there's really nothing that identifies that. So let's see here. High speed needle would probably go in this side if this is what it is, because this is the inlet side for the fuel. So let's put this in here. So that just barely started clicking, and it doesn't want to turn any further in than that. Let me get a piece of fuel tubing and see if that's actually closed off that inlet. I don't think I'm going to be able to tell anything there, so let me put one of these low-speed needles in here. And see, now that didn't feel like that turned in very far either. So it's like, I don't know how deep these things are supposed to go. So if this knurled area is right there, maybe that's as deep in there as it goes. So I had it about right there. Yeah, it looks like that's probably about as deep as it goes, which is weird because these little ratcheting clicker arms are just barely long enough to start engaging that thing, because it's already in. So here it's already beginning to thread in right now, and look how far away it goes. So I'm going in. That's the first clicks right there on these ratchet things, and it's like another 2 turns or so and it's closed. This one feels like it might be fully seated also, and it's not even touching those. So I don't know. That makes me wonder, you know, do I need to just take this carb completely apart? Which means if I take this carb completely apart and make sure all these passages are clean in the barrel, I have to take the carb body off of the engine, which I can't reach this screw here to release the barrel with the tools I've got, and even if I did, it'd be pretty tough, which means either the whole engine has to come off this stand, which it doesn't make any sense, or I remove the carb here and automatically assume that it's going to be that's going to be a terminal operation of that gasket. So I'm not going to do anything further with this until I consult and show this video to the customer and have him advise me, because I don't want to do anything that, you know, if he doesn't want money spent on this engine. I mean, I'm sure I can get gaskets. I'm pretty sure Mikoa or somebody probably has gaskets. Maybe my buddy Rich at ICBIM Products. But I also have to make sure that I know, and I'm sure it's in the documentation here somewhere, what this engine is based off of, if it's the Eagle 2 or just the Fox Eagle 60 or whatever it is, so I know I get the right gasket. Let's see here. Let's do this. Let's take this out of here. Because right now I guess I just don't know that these passages are not completely blocked with caster residue. So let's do one other thing here. This thing came with, you know, this throttle linkage, how you link the throttle. And I want to see if there's a picture here that shows me. So there's a picture here, and it looks like this thing, according to this picture, this linkage goes like this. Well, that picture is really hard to see here. So on this carb, there's 2 throttle arms.
I think you can see that. I'm not sure which one. I didn't realize I had this. Oh, I guess that's not zoomed in
Too tight. Looks like the curved end here went here. So I'm just going to say that this probably goes like this. And then it's contacting that, so it's got to have to go on this lower one. There we go. So it looks like that's how, and I don't even have any idea why this would have been taken off. I mean, this had no way it would have been interfering in that box. And I'm sure they designed that box so that the high-speed and low-speed needles could fit in there installed, because the instructions basically say, hey, you know, it's run, it's set up. Why would somebody at the factory go and take those needles out then? I don't know. I can't answer those questions. All I can kind of guess at. But this looks like this is correct. So now we've got this set up, which means, that this engine is freed up. And there's just some minor things that might need to be done. Actually, in all actuality, I don't know that I need to pull this carb apart now, because I've got it freed up. It was just a matter of seeing if these jets were, or the passages were clear. But you know, the other way I can test that is just blow through here, alternately installing one thing. So I'm getting airflow through there, so maybe those passages aren't blocked. The only thing I don't like is with the barrel fully open, the high-speed needle, what seems to be fully closed, is not stopping the airflow completely, because I can still hear, which leads me to believe that maybe this low speed isn't turned all the way in, but I don't want to keep turning that. Now, obviously, when I close the barrel, there's no airflow. However, I believe that it should be, if both needles are completely closed with the barrel open, I shouldn't be able to blow any air through there at all. Let's see what happens if I attempt the same thing over here. First of all, let's test this. I think I was getting my head in the way there, but I apologize for that. Yeah, obviously everything is clear there. Yes, these things are bent so that they're not even allowing that needle to screw in there. Okay, here we go. Put some oil on that too, maybe. Those threads. Did I get oil on the threads? There we go. See, that one sounds better, and it seems like it turned in more. Throttle fully open. Now, see, that's right there. This is fully closed, throttle's fully open, I get no airflow through there at all. That's the way it should be. Let's see if they look like they're closed. This one looks like... No, this one doesn't look like it's closing all the way. in relation to this one here, it didn't look like it was closing fully. Now let's see if it's closed. Now that feels like it's getting pretty tight. I think it still needs to go another turn, but I don't want to keep forcing this thing. There we go. That's better. I'm still hearing a little bit of airflow, so maybe there's just gunk. It still needs to get worked out of there. Maybe I could just drop some 3-in-1 oil right in that hole. Help that, there's stuff in there, help it dissolve that stuff. I still hearing a little bit. Alright, so I think the next thing I want to do here is just throw this low speed needle in here. And then I want to kind of maybe just take this prop off. See, there's garbage on this low speed needle. What the hell is that? I don't know if it's old foam. So, well, there you have it. This is the initial inspection and preliminary setup of this engine, not setting up the high-speed needles because I really have no idea. This thing feels like it's starting to tighten up already. I think I'm just going to put more of this 3-in-1 oil in here and just let it sit. Bad thing is these throttles are going to be open at the same time. Oh, that's interesting. What the hell is going on with that? That makes no sense whatsoever. This carb is open. Okay, never mind. It was just an optical delusion of mine. I was going to say they weren't opening and closing the same. Yeah, this thing feels like as it's cooling, it's starting to tighten up some more. So I'm probably going to have to just heat this thing up some more again and let it sit. Maybe throw some air tool oil in it. But anyway, this has been a very long video, I know that, but this has been kind of a show and tell. I don't know how to describe this video really. Show and tell explanation. Kind of show some of the challenges that might be presented in trying to get this thing on the stand and operational. But here is your Fox twin cylinder engine that hopefully we'll all get to hear running. Now this, since I don't have exhaust for it, this is going to be a deafening experience. So there you have it. Let's see where things take us from here.